The more I make these videos, the more I am infected by the scourge of commander-centric infinite combos. Weftstalker Ardent is a card mostly worth talking about for its position within design history. Impact Tremors is a simple enough card that when you see it, you immediately understand what it's for, what it can do, how to get the absolute best out of it. I'd want to just absolutely dump creatures onto the board as soon and as fast and as constantly as possible. Obviously, there's going to be some sort of infinite combo where I make an infinite number of tokens, and then I just have an Impact Tremors on the board and it finishes the game for me. But also it garners a lot of interest in non-singleton formats, where having it in multiples is fantastic. Having, say, 3 Impact Tremors on board makes dropping even a single, otherwise inconsequential creature into a fantastic Lava Spike face. And yes, I am still mad that the name Lava Spike got taken by a card that's never going to see a meaningful standard reprint, because I refuse to standardize the name Bolt Wave. Hence why decks like War Leader's Call were so popular when they were competitively viable in Standard. But obviously the inherent problem with cards like Impact Tremors and War Leader's Call, despite being fun and powerful and interesting, is that they trigger off creatures entering and they are themselves not creatures. The immediate thought, the immediate desire is to put this effect on a creature itself, so you can play multiples of it, have it entering the battlefield trigger all of the other ones, maybe it even triggers off itself entering. But then the equally obvious thing to do is to explore that design space measured and slowly. And to this day, we don't have a 1-mana creature that has, whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, deal 1 damage to each opponent. In Modern Horizons 3, that was teased to us with Molten Gatekeeper, a 3-mana creature with Unearth for 1 mana, giving you a single delicious turn of 1-mana Impact Tremors that was also on a creature, which meant that you could, I don't know, do crazy copying shenanigans with a Devastating Onslaught. Although obviously Devastating Onslaught is more intended to be used with the card it was printed alongside, Weftstalker Ardent, a 3-mana creature version of Impact Tremors with Warp for 1 mana. What's especially fun about Weftstalker Ardent is that it triggers off multiple card types, an always fun, if never actually especially relevant feature. Let's be totally clear, if you're constructing a deck and you're choosing cards to do different things in different slots, you're never looking at a card like Weftstalker Ardent and going, excellent, this triggers off both this half of my deck that is creatures and this half of my deck that is non-creature artifacts. You're just building a deck that's entirely creatures or entirely artifacts, and Weftstalker Ardent is triggering off the entire thing at all times, because you're also then going to play it alongside other cards. If it's an artifact-based deck, it's Reckless Fireweaver, 2-mana creature to trigger off all of the artifacts entering to ping everybody in the face. If it's creatures, it's Molten Gatekeeper, Impact Tremors, War Leader's Call, etc, etc, etc. Obviously, there is an upper limit, a ceiling to this statement. If WotC went completely out of their minds and printed a card that countered literally every permanent that ever entered the battlefield under your control, well then, yeah, it wouldn't matter what the rest of your deck was comprised of. You would just be making whatever infinite combo you felt like based on the cards that you already had and didn't have to purchase from a third-party reseller. Am I going to lose my monetization for admitting that the secondary market exists? Like and subscribe! But for real, a card like Weftstalker Ardent is absolutely perfect to have. I love an Impact Tremors that's exactly the card that you want to have at exactly the mana cost that you want to have, but on the condition that it only exists for a single turn, because it makes going for that infinite combo so much more thrilling. Needing to have your intruder alarm at exactly the right moment. Or my personal favorite, literally any card that makes Weftstalker Ardent into a pirate, and then Malcolm and Breaches, the best characters out of Ixalan. Except for Angrath, who wanted nothing more than to return to his daughters and curse out Ixalan for being a stupid hat plane. That is some bandit tier dadding there.